We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
No. Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again. And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan and I am here today in studio with Mr. Chris Hollister. Hello, Chris.
The rare in-person appearance. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, that's it. Yes, it's good to be back.
I have you in-house today and I have Ben coming in-house at 1:30. And I am tickled pink. You can see me. I have turned pink.
That's true. You have turned pink. I was wondering about that.
I am now Rosé Oakes.
Oh, well, there you go.
I've said to you guys before, I think that the show is so much better when you guys are here and in person, and I love it. So welcome back.
Hey, it's good to be back. Thank you.
But you're not the only awesome person that's here.
That is so true. We got 2 or 3 others. Excuse me.
Oh, God, 2 others. Who are you leaving out? Because Carmela Smith is awesome. She's here. Hello, Carmela.
Hello. I ruined it by not being in studio today.
Hey.
You have reasons. We have
It's
reasons.
true. I do.
It's okay. But we are glad that you are here. Jeff Jones is awesome, and he's with us today.
Hello.
Hello, Jeff. And last but not least, Paul, I guess you're the one that Chris doesn't think is awesome.
Oh, so not
Paul
true.
McLaughlin is here as well.
Paul has given
was
awesome
just
warming
bound
up
to be
Chris
that way.
questions, so stop that.
Oh, my God. Yeah, no, I didn't say it, though.
Whatever.
So I want to get to know everybody a little bit better. Jeff, we'll start with you. Tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I live in Taiwan. I am a U.S. history and government teacher at an international school here. I guess that counts as interesting. Last time I was on, I mentioned that I was born in the jungles of Indonesia. Mm-hmm. So a little less interesting this time, I guess. I'm a varsity basketball coach and a soccer coach.
Okay. Do you ever watch film as a varsity basketball coach? Do you find yourself studying?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. I watch a lot of professional and college, but I watch my own players too. Just patterns they might have missed, passes, opportunities they didn't take, and most importantly, defensive lapses.
Mm-hmm. Ah, that's good coaching right there. I love it.
Oh, that's not bad. That's
Chris, you coach youth soccer. Do you ever watch film?
Yeah, that would be a negative ghostwriter. No. But it's also, in all fairness, it's 1st and 2nd grade as opposed to the real deal, which is what he's doing. And also, yeah, you don't want me coaching soccer. You don't want me to, unless you don't know what you're doing.
That's fantastic. I love it. All right, well, Jeff, it is fabulous to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Paul, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Paul McLaughlin from Brick Township, New Jersey. Every time I've been on before, I've always said that I was retired. Well, post-retirement and post-COVID, I've been dabbling in bartending a little bit, which I have found that I really, really enjoy. It's very nice to wake up in the morning and go, hey, I get to go to work today.
Wow.
Paul, you'll have to tell me how that is.
No, that sounds like to me. Oh, God.
Something interesting. Let's go with Florida is the only continental United State that I have not been to.
Really?
Is this true? What
Wow.
What? How?
Growing up, it was Dad would take a few weeks off of work and we would just hit the road in the camper. I have been everywhere.
Wow.
just never made it down to your neck of the woods.
Yeah, because it's like if you're doing the camper thing, you might skirt across the top of Alabama and Georgia because you're like doing a loop or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not driving another 6 hours to get a little skim of Florida. Forget it.
Lots and lots of national parks, but just never the Everglades.
Oh, man. You know what? That's that's A+ dad right there, though.
That's true.
Because that's the whole getting a camper, we're going to visit the national parks, kid.
I'm a little jealous. I'm a lot jealous, actually. I take that back.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool way to grow up.
Very cool. All right. Well, guys, we are going to have a lot of fun today, and we're going to get started with Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
All right. So we got a fun warming up Chris question for you today.
I am excited. You know, this is the earliest in the morning we've reached Warm It Up, Chris in probably a year.
Wow, that's fantastic.
I'm not exaggerating at all. It's only 10:18. We got started less than, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, and we're rolling, and I'm pumped.
Are you fired up?
I might have a break between recordings
there
today.
you go. There you go. You might be able to take a nap.
I might be able to
Computer
take a
didn't break.
I'm taking nap, and you're thinking dump. Wow. All right.
You need to have some more of that coffee.
Carmela, I didn't hear what you said. What did you say?
I said the computer didn't break. You know, nothing was wrong.
Guys, it's so great. One thing, I'm making it run longer now, but it's worth saying.
Tangent.
One thing that I love about all of our listeners is there's so many that haven't come on yet, and so it's all new for them, right? But there is something to be said for a whole show with people who have been on before once or twice, you know, and it's like they know what they're doing. They know what's up.
That's true.
We're just going. That's really cool.
Well, we'll be done with this thing by 11:20. Let's go.
All right. Well, your warming up Chris question is brought to you by Jane Carmichael today. So, Jane, thank you so
Jane.
much. My nemesis,
Jane.
yes, and my nemesis and things that are blank, but my friend outside of anything that is not things that are blank. So,
I'm friends with Jane in Pokemon Go now. We've done a
that's
raid
fantastic.
together.
Oh, nice. Very
Yeah.
cool. All right. You're killing Pokemon together. I gotcha.
Her and Matt from Triviality and her son
Jackson.
Jackson have teamed up with me and Marcelli and Maria and Sebastian and done like a big raid together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just a lot of fun.
When I hear raids, I think you're killing Pokemon. The poor Pokemon. My goodness.
No.
All right. All right. So your warming up Chris question from Jane is she has a list of songs that were all performed by women and traditional female anthem songs. And she is asking you, was this song actually written by a woman or was it written by a man?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So, again, not the performer, because I'm going to give you who performed it, but we're talking about who wrote it.
So,
all right?
man or woman is what we need to answer.
That is correct. Absolutely.
Man.
All right, because so do I need to give an example or are we good to go?
We're good.
All right, fantastic.
Save the example. Give me the easy one.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see. Where's the hardest one on here? Okay, anyway, so Jonathan, you're going to go first, and you're going to get Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Was it written by a man or a woman?
I know this one.
I don't know this.
That's why I didn't give it to you, Carmela.
I don't know this one, but I do like Cyndi Lauper, and I know that she is a real songwriter for herself. So I'm going to say that a woman wrote it.
Carmela, would you like to give him the answer?
A man wrote it. I'm actually pretty sure the Cyndi Lauper version is a cover.
It is a cover. That is correct, and it was written by Robert Hazard. Robert Hazard, who is actually a man.
Was he a Duke?
Yeah, I do not know. All right. So, Carmela, you get Shania Twain's classic "Man, I Feel Like a Woman."
See, a lot of Shania Twain's songs was co-written or written by her now ex-husband. So I'm going to say a man wrote that.
Actually, it was Shania Twain actually wrote it, but you're right. Mutt Lang, her ex-husband now, did help co-write it, but she has the main primary credit on it.
Gotcha.
I resent being called a mutt.
That's right. Jeff Mutt Jones.
All right, so let's go to Jeff. Jeffrey, it's Rainin' Men by the Weather Girls.
I'm going to go written by a man.
It is written by a man. Well done. By Paul Jabrara and a little guy that you might have heard of by the name of Paul Shaffer. Paul Shaffer.
Whoa. That's wild stuff.
All right, and Paul, you get Leslie Gore's You Don't Own Me.
Wait, no, she was really, really young when that came out.
I don't even remember what this sounds like.
I'm going to think she did not write that herself. I'm going to go a man.
It was written by a man. Correct. John Madera, David White, and Gerald Gillums. Well done.
Can you hum a bar of that for us, Chris?
I cannot, because I do not recognize
the song. You don't know it either?
I do not know.
Carmela, do you know it?
Paul seemed to know it.
You don't own me.
Oh,
Did you ever
okay.
see First Wives Club? They sing that song.
I got you now.
There you go. All right, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So here we go. Jonathan, you get Criminal by Fiona Apple.
I love this song.
Oh, it's a fantastic song. And her voice is so good.
I'm going to say it was written by a woman.
All right. It was written by Fiona Apple herself. It was written by a woman. And Carmela, correct me if I'm wrong, I think she wrote every song that she ever performed.
If she hasn't, she's written the majority.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's probably at least a 90-10 split on there. So, Carmela, you get I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry.
It's always hard with particular with pop divas because it's hit or miss whether or not they actually do any of the songwriting. I'm going to say no. It was not written by a woman. All
right, you're right. It was written by hitmaker himself, Max Martin. Max Martin. If you ever listen to Hit Parade, they talk a lot about Max Martin because basically, if it was a hit in the late 90s, early 2000s, Max Martin wrote it.
He's bringing that Swedish sensibility.
There you go. So well done, Carmela. All right, so Jeffrey, you get Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood.
Ooh.
Dug my keys.
I actually know that song. I'm terrible with music, though, so these are all basically a coin flip for me. I'm going to guess that Carrie Underwood wrote that herself.
Carrie Underwood did not write it herself. It was written by a man, baby. It was John Keir and Chris Tompkins.
By the way, I'm relatively certain that Jeff has a hard J.
Oh, you think so?
Yes.
All right. So he will be Jeff from here on out, not Jeffrey. All right.
Yeah, Jeff Jones.
All right. All right, Paul, you give us a little respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, performed by the great one, Aretha Franklin.
If I'm not mistaken, she was not the first one to do that, so I am going to go by a man.
That is correct.
Is it Marvin Gaye?
No, Otis Redding.
Otis Redding.
Otis Redding was
Otis
the
Redding
first one to perform it and wrote it.
I knew it was a soul singer, but I couldn't remember which one.
All right, so well done, Paul. Well done. All right, so you think one or two more rounds? You feel
we can do one more round.
All right, we'll do one more round. So let me get some good stuff on here. So, Jonathan, you get Girl on Fire by Alicia Keys.
I'm going to say that was written by a man.
Well, Alicia would be offended because it was written by her, Alicia Keys.
Did she? That's
Alicia
a
writes
wonderful song.
most of her own songs.
Yeah. Really?
Yep. Carmela is factually correct. All right, Carmela, you get WAP. I will not pronounce what WAP stands for.
By God, I hope this was written by a man.
By Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion.
No, that Cardi and Megan would have the majority songwriting credits for those.
And Carmela is absolutely correct. Well done.
Because Megan definitely writes her own stuff. So.
Well done. How about this, Jeff? You get I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor.
Oh, man. I don't know if that's a cover or not. I'm going to go with written by a woman.
It is written by a man, Dino Farkas and Freddie Perrin. Oh, man.
Chris getting choked up over here.
Well, I got a hiccup for a second there.
Well, you know, he was thinking about WAP, so he got a little flustered.
I want to know how awful the men's version of that would be. The one written by a man.
100%.
Oh, my God.
Bad.
What I would like to hear is the men's response version of Before He Cheats, where we find out that those two had actually broken up 6 months before, and she just can't understand.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
The song title, If I Never Cheated.
Man, up with the swear words today, Jonathan. My goodness.
Buy a new car.
I had to paint my car. So, Paul, you get the last one then, sir. And you get Slave for You by Britney Spears. 'Cause I'm a slave for you.
Flipping the perspective, that really sounds like something that a guy would write for her. Yeah, I'm going to go written by a guy.
It was written by hitmaker himself, Pharrell. Pharrell Williams wrote that. So, all right. And thanks to Jane Carmichael, that is your warming up Chris question of the episode. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jane. That was great.
And actually, you will hear her name once again in round 6 of this episode.
My.
Yes, sir.
She's going to make you say her name.
She will.
How about that? So, guys, we are going to have a lot of fun today. I do want to remind you are missing out if you are not a patron of Trivial Warfare. There are episodes every single week. In fact, next week, when Ben is here live in studio and we're having a lot of fun, that's going to be episode 349, and that is a patron-only episode. You can have access to every show that we do at trivialwarfarearmy.com. Sign up at a $5 a month level or higher to get access to everything that you need. And don't forget that you get over 200 archived episodes from the past, and there is some really, really good stuff in there. So trivialwarfarearmy.com.
Well, and also, if you're hearing my voice and go, where's Chris been? Actually, I've been on almost exclusively Patreon episodes lately, so you guys need to go up there. Yeah, that's true.
That's unintentional.
Because I've been doing the afternoon shows for whatever reason.
How about that? If y'all love Chris, trivialwarfarearmy.com.
There you go.
Show the man some love.
Please,
If we have a boost, if we get like 10 new patrons this week, I'm going to let you know.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank
and
you.
if I don't call you, Chris, then it didn't matter. No, it did no effect.
Fair enough.
Or he forgot, like he's one to do.
Chris is going to go pay like 10 people to sign up.
They'll be $5.
So also, triviacalendar.net. We are getting down to it. It's almost November. In fact, when you hear this, it will be November. We are going to sell out of these calendars. It is not going to be far now. By the way, the calendars are in the States.
Fantastic.
We are getting close to shipping because these things are going to get to you before Christmas. Promise. So, triviacalendar.net for your everyday Q&A trivia calendar for 2022. I partner with Katie Sikelski on that, and it is fantastic. triviacalendar.net. All right, guys, this is going to be episode number 348. It's going to be Jeff and Jonathan versus Carmela and Paul. It's going to be an extremely awesome matchup. I'm very excited about this game. Chris is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
Let's do this, everybody. Let's shake off the nerves, and we're going to have a little bit of fun today, you know? Let's play some games, shall we?
I'm excited.
All right, so your first question in round 1, the category is in sports ball. Sports. All right, and your question is, name the only athlete that has played in a World Series and a Super Bowl. There's only one. There can only be one.
All right, we're going to lock in.
All right. So, Carmela and Paul, you can talk it out.
It's before you guys talk, it is funny, something that our older listeners or not even people who don't consider themselves old but are getting older.
Sure, yeah.
All of us run into this thing where information that once was just at the tip of our tongue, really easy, like, oh yeah, obviously that, is now so far in the past that it's no longer accessible.
Oh.
This is one of those questions because
Gotcha.
10, 15 years ago, I answered this in not even a thought. And now it's like, oh, what it could. I got to figure the whole thing out again. All right, please go ahead. I'm sorry for my
exactly the same thought, Jonathan. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. It's
was it or
Deion
is
Sanders. Wait, no, it's Bo Jackson. Is it Deion? Is it Bo? Damn it! Which
don't
one
forget
is it?
about Brian Jordan, who was a Cardinal and a Falcon as well.
But in the end, we locked in with Deion Sanders.
Oh, why? Okay. What made you choose Deion?
Because I think it's right. We're going to the time when I did not like sport, when I loathed all sports.
Oh, wow.
I've only been a sports fan for maybe the past 20 years, not even. So it was like 2001 I started really getting into football. Anything before that is kind of just absorbed knowledge, and I think that it was Sanders.
Also, the 90s were weird. So,
Yes.
So for us, Bo definitely had never made it to the World Series. No doubt in my mind, because Bo played for the Royals, and the Royals were terrible for so long. I don't think the Raiders made it to the World. They definitely didn't make it to the World Series.
That would have been interesting.
Oh man, that would have been rating right there.
Yep.
No, I don't think that the Raiders made it to the Super Bowl during his career either, and I don't think it was Brian Jordan because the Falcons. I am a little bit nervous about Jordan because he could have been on the '98 Falcons team that got worked over by the Broncos, the Dan Reeves team, and the Cardinals make plenty of World Series. But we also went with Deion. He played in a bunch of Super Bowls, and I think that in the 1991 World Series against the Minnesota Twins, he was probably a backup outfielder and speed guy. And so we said Deion Sanders.
The Atlanta Braves are currently in the World Series right now. They're up 2-1. That was what kind of made me think of this question. Your answer is Deion Sanders.
There it is. Yay. Jeff brought that up in our conversation, by the way. Jeff said, the Braves would be topical, too, because they're in the World Series right now.
That is factually correct.
That's a good eye, Jeff.
Factually correct. Well done. Your question 2 in round 1 is going to be in animals.
Animals!
And your question is, what species of fish name comes from the Latin meaning to leap? And I got that's a good question, sticker for my wife on this question, by the way. So I was really excited.
Hey. When your wife says something good about you, it's actually a real treat because after you're together for a while, they stop worrying about being nice to you.
Oh, hey, I put it on my husband's helmet. I put that sticker right up on there.
You also missed the visual there, but Chris wasn't touching his head.
Whoa, what?
Just joking. Ow. Your husband helmet.
Oh, nice.
I love having you here, dude. I love having you here.
I feel so awkward now.
So much fun.
Awkward.
The husband helmet. We call them a different thing here, but no. All right. I think we are locked in.
Coolio.
All right. So, I started with, could it possibly be marlin? Because marlins are sport fish that are known for jumping.
I know that the Spanish word for jump is salto. I don't know anything beyond that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think if there are any similar words or fish that have that, but I don't. I can't think of any.
I started thinking along that too. I mean, that does make sense. I love that you know that. And so if there's any fish that jump that have a similar name to that, then we'll go with it, right? But all I have are like flying fish, and every once in a while a random bass or trout will jump into a boat, but that's not it.
That's great bass.
It sure is. Others, our whales aren't fish. They jump. There are kind of lots of fish that jump. I can't think of anything more iconic jumping than a marlin.
Yeah, neither can I. And yeah, I'm fine with going with that because I honestly can't think of anything else.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to go with that then. It's not an answer that I think we're confident in.
Maybe the Lin part of the marlin is the jumping word, and mar is Spanish for ocean, so it's like ocean jumper, ocean leap. I don't know. Yeah,
I like your language knowledge. And by the way, when we say marlin, we're talking about the sport fish, not the character from Finding Nemo. So we don't want credit for clownfish if it's clownfish.
Okay, good to know. All right, good important safety tip. Thanks, Egon.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's your locked-in answer?
That is. We're saying marlin.
All right, Paul and Carmela.
You are on the right track with salto.
You are wrong the right track.
No. The first 3 letters in salto. It is. I am reasonably sure this is salmon.
Oh, salmon do jump all the time. That's how the bears catch them.
Upstream thing.
Hey, boo.
Yep.
Go Bears. And your answer is Salmon.
Damn it.
Salmon.
Oh, I love these
Salmo,
things.
which in turn might have originated from saliere, meaning to leap.
Jeff, you had us there, man.
Salmo. Okay.
We really could have gotten that. That's a shame.
All right. And
I was thinking of saltwater, so that.
You were there, though. You were there.
Yeah.
okay. And your final question, round one, your category is in symbols. Symbols. And your question is, originally created by workers at Bell Telephone Laboratories in 1968, what was the original name for a number symbol, hashtag, or pound sign?
I got all the.
Yeah, 100%.
Let me double check with Jeff and make sure he's comfortable. He's probably sending it to me, and then we can 3, 2, 1 it. Yep, I'm with you, Jeff. We can 3, 2, 1 if you want.
All right. Paul or Carmela, would you like to 3, 2, 1 it?
Absolutely.
All right. Who would
We
like
can
to
all
speak
say
on
it.
y'all's behalf?
We're all going to say it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
all
Very
do
good.
it.
Everybody's going to say it. So in 3, 2, 1.
Octothorpe.
Octothorpe is correct. Well done, both teams. Love it.
That is classic trivia. You're only going to know it if you play trivia or you are an extreme nerd, and we like you both ways.
There you go. After one round, Carmela and Paul have the lead, 30 to Jonathan and Jeff's 20. All right, so your question 1 and round 2 is in music. And your question is, performing from 1990 to 2003, I want you to name 2 out of the 3 members of the operatic singing group, the Three Tenors. For 2 bonus points, bonus brigade! Name all 3.
Chris added 5 minutes of think time to this question for the bonus brigade.
Bonus brigade!
Jeff with his suggestion of Steve for the third.
I mean, if you kick anyone hard enough, they'll become a tenor.
That's true. Hashtag just saying.
No, I wouldn't. I'd go way higher than tenor.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I want this.
Okay, we're locked in.
Okay, so Jeff, you said Pavarotti. I said Domingo. We definitely got the 10 points for those 2. The other one,
Steve.
Yes. Affectionately nicknamed Steve.
Jonathan says he has a shorter name, and I was like, "Oh, Steve's a short name."
Yeah. So,
except it's pronounced Yves.
All right. Hold on a second. Make the jokes after. Damn it! There's a time limit here.
3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Shut up. It's a shorter name. It's like maybe 1 syllable. Definitely no more than 2 syllables. And I think he's Spanish.
One.
Bill.
I think it's 1 syllable.
Oh, Steve is still 1 syllable.
Oh, be quiet.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Well,
It's like
not
da.
coming.
It's like da. That's
See,
the
I'm
pattern of his name.
I'm a big football, and I mean that in the global sense, fan. So I'm keep thinking of like these European footballers' names that have da, but not singers. It's really throwing me off.
It's da. Not Diaz.
Pose.
Not. Damn it! This is another one of those things that I knew in the past.
Devo.
That guy.
Who's that guy? It's Steve.
Damn it!
90 seconds.
Shut up, Chris. It's stupid, but it's some last name. It's not American. It's like something Frank. It's something, it's that simple. It's a straightforward last name.
So go with Frank.
With 1
Or
syllable.
go with stupid.
It's a very frank answer.
Frank Oz, like Oz. Yeah. Oz.
It could still be Italian, and I'm just not that smart. They sound similar to me. It's not coming, Jeff. I'm sorry. I know it's in there. I know it's in there. I picture there used to be like the Time Life things, and they'd scroll the songs across, and they'd show all 3 of them, and they'd name them. The 3 tenors. Buy this collectible album now with songs by the 3 tenors, Placido Domingo, Luciano Pavarotti, and
Steve.
Steve, yeah. Oh, crap. It's right there.
I need an answer, please.
Oh, we don't have one.
right.
We're going with Steve.
All right. And so Carmela and Paul, what do you got?
Those commercials were featuring Luciano Pavarotti, Placido Domingo, and Jose Carreras. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name
If
right.
it's Jose
I know
Carreras, it's not the person I'm thinking of.
All right. Well, your answers are Italian, Luciano Pavarotti, and Spaniards, Placido Domingo, and Jose Carreras.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. I wasted our time. That is not the name of the person I was trying to think of at all.
Thinking of Steve.
Man, I do wonder who I was trying to think of because it sure as hell wasn't a guy named Carreras.
And you're welcome for the show title.
Yeah, let me write that one down. I regret tremendously when something is great for a show title and I don't note it, because then when I need a show title, I'm like, oh, it was a good moment.
This episode is brought to you by Steve. Your second question is, I was told there'd be no math. And your question is, a perfect number is a positive integer that is equal to the sum of its positive divisors, excluding the number itself. There are two perfect numbers from 1 to 100. For 5 points, name one of them. For 10 points, name them both.
The sum of its positive divisors, excluding the number itself.
Correct.
So, Chris, just, and I know that this might help the other team or may not, but I don't care because I need to understand.
Okay.
So when we talk about the positive divisors, we mean like with 10, right? 1 and 10 could be divisors of 10. 2 and 5 could be divisors, and that's it, right? So it would be 2 plus 5 equals 10 for a perfect number. But it couldn't be like the same divisor twice. It would have to be different divisors.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Totally asking the wrong person.
I'm sorry, dude, but I don't understand, and so I'm trying to understand just like you.
Math and science questions are always my hardest ones.
We're locked in.
Now we're getting somewhere, right? Okay, so if it's like the number 16, right? So 16 would have 2 and 8 equal 10, and 4 and 4 equal, no, it would just be 1, 4. So it would be 2 and 8 and 4 would be the divisors of 16. Right. So it's not 16, right? But that's how we do it. So how about 15, right? This could be a low number still because you're not going to have that many. So 15, you have 3 and 5 equal 8. Is there anything else there? No, there's not. 14 is 2 and 7 and nothing else there. 12, 3 and 4, 2 and 6. 2 and 6 gets you to 8, and 3 and 4 gets you to 7. That's 15. That doesn't do it. 9 would be 3.
60 seconds.
No, not 9. 7, no. 6.
Oh, no.
5, 18. No. 4, we only have the 1, 2. 3, no, it's 2, not high enough.
It could be 18. 9 plus 2 is 11. 6 plus 3 is 9. Nope, that's 20. Shoot.
6 plus 8. No, you're right. That was a good guess, though. 21 would be 7 and 3 is 10 and nothing else. 22. 22 would be 11 and 2. And it would be, no, that's not it. 24 would be 6 and 4 is 10. And 2 and 12 is 14. That's it. 24. 24, I think.
He said name one of them.
Okay, well, we're going to say 24 because we're running out of time if we can't think of anything better. Okay. Double check me on that math real quick. 6 and 4, 2 and 12.
Yeah, that's 24.
No,
yeah,
3 and 8, too. It's sum of all integers. No, it doesn't work. 3 and for 26, it's 3 and 13, and that's 2. 3 and 13 would be 16, and 2 and 13. No, that's not. I'm going too fast.
Okay, your time is up.
Chris.
So.
Do you want to say 27? That sounds perfect.
Sure.
All right, we're going to say 27.
All right, and Carmela and Paul.
We just figured, guys. So what happened here? For lack, they were stressing because we would have gotten there if we'd have started if we understood it fully at the beginning. We would have gotten to the answer, but we didn't understand it until there was about maybe 2 minutes or maybe a minute and a half left to go. Not, and this is not the question's fault. This is just us not knowing math.
We initially thought it was just 2 of the positive integers added together, not all of them.
Mm-hmm. So we were stuck on 4 with 2 and 2. And it's like, wait, but 2 is only one number. It can't be. And so, yeah. So, darn it. All right, go ahead. Educate us, guys.
Well, we knew that the first one was 6. 1 + 2 + 3 = 6. That we've heard.
Wait, you get to count 1?
One is a divisor that is not the number.
Oh man, because of the divisor, I was throwing out the other one. I was throwing out the 1 with the number. Okay, well, we were never going to get it then, Jeff.
Nope.
My bad, dude. My bad.
Anytime
I've heard the exact same.
Anytime I've heard perfect number, it was 1 + 2 + 3 = 6. 6 is a perfect number. Carmela said she thought that the other one was going to be somewhere in the 20s. So we just figured we would brute strength this one. She took the low 20s. I took the high 20s. Let's just write them out. And we got to 1 + 2 + 7. I'm sorry, 1 + 2 + 4 + 7 + 14 = 28.
Oh my God. We wouldn't have gotten it though because we wouldn't have counted the 1.
Yeah.
So when you said 27, I was like, oh God.
And your answer is 6 and 28.
Really,
They did everything else on there.
Wonderful job by you two. You definitely, the knowledge of how the perfect number worked is the piece of trivia that you needed to know, truly. And that really allowed you guys to really kill that. That's really awesome.
All I know is I have a lot of joy in my heart for you two right now, so thank you. Because I get so nervous asking math questions because I stink at them. So
I get so nervous hearing them.
Well, your last question in round 2 is in George Washington, Vampire Slayer? And this question is actually brought to you by Julie Hildebrand. So, Julie, thank you very much.
Thank you, Julie.
Thanks, Julie.
And your question is, George Washington had Taffophobia. What is that fear of? And it's spelled TaphephobiA. 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
We're locked in.
Coolio.
Jeff, I just realized, so the word epitaph has taff in it. Right.
Epitaph you give at a funeral.
No, that's not an epitaph is what you write on a tombstone.
Oh.
Could it be the stone or maybe it's the words, maybe it's a stone, but an epitaph is that. It's words on a stone.
Yes.
Do you have any idea which one epi is and which one taff is?
Like epilogue is words also, so maybe taff is
end.
Stone.
Epilogue, log is words, and it's the end, the last words.
But if you said the clue, so
the vampire hunter clue.
If the clue is vampire hunter and it's things to do with vampires, vampires often sleep in coffins, so maybe it has to do with coffins.
I think it's going to be gravestones.
Okay.
That's the best thing. That's the most logical thing I can think of.
60 seconds.
Epilogue is the ending words, right? So an epitaph would be the ending stone.
The ending stone.
The last stone, maybe. I mean, it's also last words in a way, but you were thinking of eulogy. Eulogy is the one we're talking about.
Yeah, eulogy, that's right. I'm just worried because I don't know what stone has to do with vampires.
Well, a gravestone. Vampires would come out from the ground. They wouldn't start above ground.
Do that's zombies, though.
I mean, yeah, them too. But all undead come out of the ground after they die. That's the first time.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, it could be coffins. Don't think so, though. It doesn't sound good to me.
All right,
I like stone.
I'm fine. Let's go with gravestone.
We're going to say gravestone.
And Paul and Carmela?
So we were talking and we settled on epitaph of having a similar origin. And so we said graves. That he was afraid of graves.
All right. You guys were both very, very close, but unfortunately 10 points for me.
Hufflepuff. That brutal Hufflepuff.
The answer is being buried alive. Being buried alive.
No. Oh, no. Paul is upset.
Oh, did he mention that?
I said graves, and if you wanted us to be more specific, we would say buried alive, because buried alive seemed too specific.
Oh, my God. That's
so. I'm sorry, Paul. I am so sorry.
And this was being buried alive was a thing back then. They had there were whole systems because there were different paralysis diseases and things that people would be alive and you couldn't really tell. They had like bell systems where if you woke up in a coffin, you could like shift and move and ring a bell, and people would come out and dig you up.
Yep.
that was the thing.
Pranksters ever went out and just rang bells in the graveyard just to mess with the people that.
Wow, man, what a tool!
All right, yeah.
It's a
Let's
whole
see.
new
It would
version
be
of Ding Dong Ditch.
and just to give you guys a little to give you guys a little more information too. George Washington actually asked his secretary Tobias Lear to wait 3 days before putting him into the vault because of that fear.
Wow.
So, yep. So, after 2 rounds, Carmela and Paul have the lead 52 to Jonathan and Jeff's 30 points.
Man, we're getting our butts kicked, Jeff. We gotta tighten up, dude.
All right. Your question 1 in round 3 is in transportation. First opened on November 17th, 1869. What transportation route closed for 8 years in 1967 due to the Egyptians establishing a blockade closing off all traffic?
I'm 95% on that, Jeff. All right, we're going to lock in.
All right, they're locked in. So Carmela and Paul, you can talk it out.
I was trying to think about what was going on in the 60s. So as I do, I was like, all right, let's start going through. We didn't start the fire. And so I got to trouble in the Suez, and Paul also said, I think this is the right area for the Suez Canal. So we're saying the Suez Canal.
Okay.
I'm disappointed in Billy Joel for helping you out there. Oh, man, Billy, come on, dude. I don't think any of us knew that it opened in 1869. That was the part where it's like, oh, my God, really? Is it possible? But yeah, I mean, it was possible. The Erie Canal opened in the 1800s and the other ones as well. So yeah, we said the Suez Canal.
All right. And your answer is the Suez Canal. Well done, both teams. Here's the interesting part. During that time span, there were actually 15 cargo ships trapped within the canal. They were called the Yellow Fleet. The Yellow Fleet. So, man, that is a long stay for sure. All right, so well done to both teams, and here we go into question 2 in round 3. And
if the category is geography, I'm saying Allentown right now.
Well, no,
you're living there in Allentown.
Well, your category is in historical science. Historically. And this is brought to you by the trivia writing god, Rob Warman. So thank you, Rob. See, I've upped your grade there.
You cannot make him a god, Chris.
Now a deity.
Oh, well,
deity would be good.
Oh, I was trying
deity
to think what the ghost, but I was trying
what
to think
do you think deity is, Jonathan?
I enjoy, but deity indicates multiples. God to me is God.
What did Winston say in Ghostbusters?
He said, Egon was said it actually. If somebody asks you if you are God, you say yes.
No, and that was Winston that said it.
Was it Winston?
It was Winston said that.
Polytheism indicates that there's multiple gods. You can say God and not mean big G God.
I know.
Anyway, the trivia writing legend, Rob Warman. Thank you, Rob.
No, you can say God if you want to, you blasphemer.
Okay, then.
One of us takes their religion super seriously, and it's not me, blasphemer.
And your question is, in 1884, construction of the Washington Monument was completed with the placement of the final 9-inch pyramid of what precious metal at the very top? It was an industrial breakthrough later that made this metal far easier to purify, and today it can be inexpensively purchased in any grocery store. Try to have a little fun, and Jonathan shuts me down by calling me a blasphemer.
Oh, Chris just apologized to his Lord and Savior.
He knows where he's going. It's okay.
I tease. Obviously, I tease. I am a Christian, but I love stories about gods and goddesses and all that jazz. So I am not serious at all. For anybody who might take offense,
Carmela made my cheeks hurt on that one.
We're locked in.
Oh, they're locked in.
All right, I've been joking with Chris, so I never responded to Jeff. I apologize. But Jeff, I love your answer. I was not feeling good about what I was thinking, but...
So at first I was thinking like copper or something along those lines, and then Chris said you can find it in a grocery store, and my first thought was, aluminum foil, so much of it aluminum. So yeah, I think aluminum is probably our best bet there.
Aluminum foil. That is our answer.
All right.
Not foil, obviously.
Okay.
That'd be something, wouldn't it? It's like, we tore it again on the point. Get another roll.
All right, Carmela and Paul.
Yeah, she had messaged that she thought it was aluminum, and my immediate thought was aluminum. And he just said the grocery store. Where are you going to get? It's not like they just sell aluminum in the grocery store. Foil. I'm an idiot. Never mind.
Soda cans. I mean, aluminum's everywhere now. But yeah, I remember reading this at one point during my question writing, and almost certain it's aluminum.
All right. And your answer is aluminum. Well done, both teams.
I want everybody listening just to stop for a second. Think about the modern world and the marvels of the modern world and how crazy it is that we have such thinly pressed aluminum as to use it as a wrap.
Yep.
And we throw it away when we're done.
This is commonplace in our world.
That's how I make my bacon every day.
It's crazy. But
every day.
It's awesome. That's a lot of bacon.
Every time.
Chris.
Every time.
My goodness.
Every time.
Chris, the Baconator Hollister.
Heck yeah, man. Dude, I would love that nickname.
He's 30% bacon at this point.
All
Cat
pork,
owner
baby.
pro tip,
all pork.
Cats love balls of aluminum foil. You got to, don't throw it away. Just toss it on the floor. Cats go ballistic.
Oh, I'm going to do that this evening.
Me too.
That sounds like a cheap evening.
There you go.
But if you have metal fillings, don't chew it yourself.
Oh, God.
Don't stick it in the microwave.
Also, don't stick your tongue on both ends of a 9-volt battery.
And don't stick your tongue in the microwave.
May I ask the next question, y'all?
We've been waiting.
No.
No? Okay. All right. Your final question before the midpoint. Your question is an art tribond. An art tribond. And your question is, name the artist who painted the following 3 works. Black Iris 3, Radiator Building, Night, New York, and Red Canna, Canna.
When you say Radiator Building, Night, New York, what do you mean? Night, spell it?
Okay, Radiator Building with a / Night, Night, and New York, comma, New York.
And Black
Iris 3.
Iris or Irish?
Iris, IRIS.
And the last one was?
Red Canna, Canna.
We're locked in.
So, Jeff, I was asking you if a canna could be a flower. I'm thinking about Georgia O'Keeffe and her not quite genitalia flower series. So Iris very much immediately says flower to me. If a canna is also a flower, then this could be that the Radiator Building was an early work, and then the 2 flowers would be later works when she got into that phase. That's one option here.
Or maybe the Radiator Building is shaped like a phallus. It's just a different genitalia shape.
So what other thoughts do we have? None of these are names of paintings that I know, which is disappointing.
No, me neither. And so when I saw Iris, I was thinking flower and Georgia O'Keeffe as well. That's the only.
Okay.
That was the first and only thought that I've had so far. And then you mentioned Georgia O'Keeffe, and so it's like, well, I'm of the opinion that if we both had the same guess first, maybe we should go with that.
I don't think that we've come up with anything better. Do you know any other artists that were focused on flowers? I mean, we don't know what canna is. Canna, cannabis. I mean, I know that sounds like a joke, but it's not. It's a flower.
Yeah. Same. Well, I was going to say same spelling, but that's just how I spelled it.
So that is potentially a flower now that I say it like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do O'Keeffe.
All right.
All right, we're going to say Georgia O'Keeffe.
All right. And Paul and Carmela.
No, you go.
Well, I saw Iris, and I was like, okay, so maybe O'Keeffe. And then Paul had a much better line of reasoning.
Yeah, I am objectively terrible at art, which is why I'm very happy that my mother is a big fan of Georgia O'Keeffe, and we have read the Red Canna painting, a print of it in her house. So that was kind of an insta-get.
All right.
O'Keeffe.
Okay.
Oh, yes, Georgia O'Keeffe.
Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't ask the question. Your answer is Georgia O'Keeffe.
Hey.
Well done, Paul.
For those of us who don't know
done, Paul's mom.
The art at all, but we're able to get that. That's one of your better tribonds, Chris.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because it was 3 pieces of information. They weren't all the same type of information, and they still gave you enough to lead you there if you knew some other things. Well done. That's a well done Tribond. Tribonds are typically kind of too easy a lot of times. That was very good.
Cool. After 3 rounds, Carmela and Paul still have the lead 82 to Jonathan and Jeff 60. But Jonathan and Jeff, that means you guys get to choose the midpoint category.
Midpoint.
And so your midpoint category is, ladies and gentlemen, it's back. The Luke May reactive metals question, science, or a poems question. Poems.
Jeff.
Yes.
Do you like metal and science? Or are you more of a poetry gentleman?
See, that's a tough one. Probably more poetry, but my poetry knowledge is not super extensive. So if you're more
Poems
comfortable
can be
with
super
science,
metal.
Poems are
That's
awesome. So what do we know about Paul and Carmela, though? Carmela is solid at science in general, space in particular, not necessarily so much periodic table, but she is better than average, I'd say, at periodic table stuff. Paul is kind of a harder sell for me. Paul is very much a kind of guy who knows a lot about the pop culture in his era, right? That's his wheelhouse. But he also has a really eclectic kind of knowledge as opposed to a specialist kind of knowledge. So he's a strong generalist.
Yeah, I can picture Paul sitting at the Knights of Columbus just reciting sonnets,
I don't think there's going to be a poetry question that I know that Carmela's not going to also know.
Okay.
So do you want to, and Luke has been waiting forever. Do you want to just go reactive metals and see what the hell this is?
Sure.
All right, we're going reactive metals.
All right, Luke.
This is our metal midpoint.
There you go. The metal.
No, that's not metal, Chris. That's like rockabilly.
Okay, fair enough. Well, okay.
You're like, I don't know what to do with that.
Anyway, yeah, I'm out. So your category is in science. Reactive metals. Thank you so much.
Horns.
Okay. Thank you so much, Luke May, for this question. It will be worth the wait. And your question is, for 4 points each, name the 5 metals that are so reactive that they oxidize instantly when exposed to air. They can even produce explosions when dropped in water. All elements attempt chemical stability. In other words, to have a full outer electron shell. To achieve this, these metals tend to shed electrons. The alkali metals have 1 electron on their outer shell, making them ultra keen to pass on this unwanted passenger to another element via bonding. As a result, they readily form compounds with other elements.
That was like a whole chapter in a science book there.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
All right. I think we are locked in.
Okay. So like what I say?
Potassium and sodium. I don't know if they're metal. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they're metal either, but that's what I was thinking. Like, if those are the reactive ones and they pass that quick oxidization potential for explosion onto chlorine to make this like sodium chloride, so then it's not so reactive. But I don't know. I feel confident with the first 2.
All right. So we're going to say magnesium. We're going to say lithium. Did you want to say cadmium, or would you rather say potassium and sodium?
Let's do cadmium and then just pick one of the other ones, since cadmium we know is a metal.
All right, well, let's say sodium then.
Okay.
All right, and Carmela and Paul.
So when Chris started reading this question and said, this blows up in water, I was like, I know sodium blows up in water.
Really?
It does.
Ooh, Jeff.
The strange thing about salt is that sodium blows up in water and chlorine is a deadly gas, but when you combine them, you just make regular table salt.
Right, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So without hearing the rest of the question, I started thinking about, okay, these are probably the alkali metals. So Paul, we came up with lithium, sodium, and potassium pretty quickly. I was trying to think what else is in that line on the periodic table, and I think rubidium is over there, but I didn't know the 5th one. So Paul, you supplied francium, and so we were going to go with francium. So
we said to say 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell us when I only gave you 4?
I thought you gave me 5.
Well, I mean, we had said potassium, but when you asked for the answers, I didn't read you. I only read off 4 answers, but we never. When you said, could you repeat?
Yeah,
those?
we were thinking 4.
I named 4 things.
Well, it says name the 5 metals.
I know.
Part of the question, but
when you asked me to say them again because you weren't focusing, I gave you 4. And you didn't ask for a fifth, so I thought that I didn't realize that we were supposed to give you the other one. I don't know what you want to do with that, but that was...
Well, did you have a fifth?
I mean, now that they've
we had
potassium we had the thing that we
yeah.
said, but we can't add it now that they've already said stuff because that's not right. That's not fair.
But if you already said
we have no
though.
idea if ours are right.
We were
You already
picking,
said potassium.
I know, we were
Yes.
picking between it and sodium for the fourth spot. We would have said it for the fifth spot,
Well,
but we never
there you
actually
go.
said we
That's-
would do it.
To me, that's fine.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, you're the judge.
I have no problem
Yeah.
with this.
Okay.
Nope,
And
I'm
the other
good.
team doesn't have a problem with it either. So thank you. All
Okay.
right.
So lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, and francium is what we
Okay.
have.
All right. Very good. All right. And your answers are potassium,
Wow.
sodium,
Wow.
lithium,
Wow, Jeff.
rubidium,
Carmela.
and
Oh, we didn't get that
cassium.
one.
Cassium.
I have no idea what cassium is.
Caesium.
It's the misspelled cadmium, clearly.
What's funny is the first two we said that we thought we're so sure about were not on the
No,
list.
lithium was.
Oh, lithium. Okay.
Yep, lithium absolutely was. And so Jonathan and Jeff got 12 points. Carmela and Paul got 16.
Man, that was it. Luke May. A lot of
Yeah.
words in that question, but you had some good stuff in there. That was fun.
That was strong stuff.
For the record, Jonathan, there was no wrong choice when you were picking between periodic table and poetry for me. No, you couldn't fail.
So after the midpoint, Carmel and Paul increased their lead, 98 points. But Jonathan and Jeff don't have a sucky, but it's 72 points. They do not have a sucky 72. That's for sure. All right.
I might have a
That's a
sucky. What do you
strange way
know?
to say.
I know. In my head, it made sense. And then when I said it, it was like, oh,
They don't have a sucky.
that's a classic Chris right there.
All right, that is the end of the first half. And before we get on to the second half, I want to let you know that today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is one of our favorite companies. You know them well. BetterHelp is an online service that you can go to get counseling from licensed clinical therapists in a secure, safe, and private online environment. I've told you guys about Crystal. I've told you guys all about how big of a deal it is to be able to message back and forth with your counselor and not have to worry about waiting a month or waiting 2 weeks to talk to somebody. Sometimes you just need to talk and you need some advice. You're thinking of doing something stupid. I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to call somebody or text somebody or say something you shouldn't. And maybe, just maybe, having somebody to reach out to and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Maybe, just maybe, that can make things a little bit better, make things a little bit easier, and help make better decisions sometimes. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses from your counselor. You don't ever have to sit in a waiting room, and this is a worldwide service. It could be about anything. Some people use BetterHelp because they have family conflicts and they need somebody to help them work out what it is that's going on. Some people deal with anger or grief, the loss of a loved one, terrible. Sometimes you just need a safe place to cry. Whether you have issues sleeping, trauma in your past, anxiety, that's kind of a big one for a lot of us, right? Anxiety and depression, BetterHelp can help. It's convenient, professional, and affordable. You can start living a happier life today. As a listener of Trivial Warfare, you'll get 10% off of your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/TWA. That's right. You can join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TWA. All right, let's get on with the second half of today's game.
So, your round 4 question 1 category is, yes, it is time for Chris Destroys a Hit.
Oh boy, here we go. By the way, Chris talks louder in person than he does when he's in his own house. So I'm about to get the full brunt of this Chris Destroys a Hit. I'm excited.
It's because I scare my wife and Ringo when I'm...
It's great.
All right, so I want you to name this 1995 rock song that was number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart from the lyrics and the third verse.
Now, this is Paul's specialty. I'd say he doesn't have any specialties. I lied. Rock from the 90s is Paul's specialty.
All right, let me get my chi. Let me get back into this. All right. And all the roads we will have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are so many things I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. All right. Sending the lyrics, and I'm going to repeat it.
That's incredible.
All right, here are the lyrics for those listening at home. And all the roads that we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things I would like to say to you, but I don't know how.
And then it ends with, and meow meow.
All right, we got a meow meow.
Jeff had it before you were finished with the Bob Dylan version.
Gotcha. Okay, so Carmela and Paul, you can talk it out.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Don't you have to sing? You got to sing. Sing.
Which one of us is singing, Carmela?
You, Paul, you.
And maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my Wonderwall.
There we go. The smooth stylings of Paul McLaughlin. All right. Jeff, you were on it. What did you say?
Yeah, I said Wonderwall by Oasis immediately.
Yeah.
I've heard that anyway. Here's Wonderwall so many times.
That's what I wrote to Paul.
I totally
guitar, but I don't play it well, so that's a song that I can actually play on the guitar because it's not very good. It's a 4-chord song. So.
Paul, a man of many skills.
So your answer is Oasis's Wonderwall. Well done, both teams. And I guess I made it a little too easy on that question. It's just the cadence of that song is just, honestly, it's too easy and it's too hard to do otherwise. But
yeah,
and all the roads. Anyway, all right. So well done. 10 points for both teams. And here we go with question 2 in round 4, and it's in literature. And your question is, in the history of the New York Times bestseller list, there were 7 authors that has made it to number 1 on both the fiction and nonfiction lists. Of the 7, name the only musician to top both lists. For those of you who now have Wonderwall as an earworm in your head, you're welcome.
Today is gonna be the day. Thanks.
And I'm going to assume you're talking about somebody whose primary career is a musician.
That is correct. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. 90 seconds.
I also love that you've read that book too.
Oh.
Jeff, I'm not getting anything better than that last thing that I'm on. I'm good to lock that in if you are.
Okay, yeah, I can't possibly think. Yeah, I'd say go with that.
All right, we're going to lock in.
Well, besides discovering our mutual love of Henry Rollins' Get in the Van, but I don't think that's it. I am leaning Springsteen. I know he has written multiple books. I'm pretty sure he has done fiction and nonfiction.
I've read his memoir a couple times. I mean, he's my partner's favorite, and I can't think of any fiction that Springsteen has done. Hell, even his songs can be considered not exactly fiction.
30 seconds, y'all.
Henry Rollins is honestly the only person I can think who's done both the fiction and nonfiction side, but I agree. I don't think he's the right answer either. It still would be hilarious if it was Bob Dylan.
Yes. We discussed Dylan. You want to take a stab at Springsteen?
Yeah, we can go with Springsteen. Like I said, I can't think of any fiction he's done, but I don't have a better answer.
I either. All right, we're going to go New Jersey's own Bruce.
All right, Jeff, we went back and forth, but not too many times because we didn't know much, right? So at the end of the day, the best 2 answers that we think we came up with were Elton John, possibly, and Madonna, possibly. When in doubt, go with the megastar, right? Go with the big name. We know Madonna had at least 1 book, if not 2, with the sex book in the early 90s, and I think there was an erotica book or something like that, and that could have done it. And then I think we both assumed that we're probably talking about a children's book for the fiction. And so we were trying to find children's book authors, but we couldn't really. Jeff threw out Weird Al as an option, but I didn't think that a nonfiction Weird Al book would have hit number 1. So we went with Madonna.
Paul McCartney just did a children's book in the last couple years. It would not surprise me if it was Paul McCartney.
That would suck diddly-uck, Flanders.
Well, it is, once again, 10 points for Chris on this question. And he actually has had multiple bestsellers for the fiction part. He's had Tales from Margaritaville, Where is Joe Merchant?
Oh, of course, Jimmy Buffett.
And his nonfiction book was A Pirate Looks at 50, which was his autobiography. And the answer is Jimmy Buffett.
Of course, it's Chris. Of course, it's Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett.
The other 6 on the list, by the way, are John Steinbeck, Ernest Hemingway, Mitch Albom, William Styron, Irving Wallace, and Dr. Seuss.
How about them apples right there?
All right, so let's bounce off of that. Let's shake that.
Chris has brought the thunder today, y'all. These are more challenging than a normal Chris game. This is interesting.
Your final question and the fourth round is an art. And once again, thank you to Julie Hildebrand for this question.
Thank you, Julie.
Julie.
What American code maker painted the gallery at the Louvre?
What does code maker mean? You don't have to answer it, but I'm not familiar with that term in this type of context. Like I said, you don't have to answer.
I'm not going to answer because. Yeah.
Do you want to lock that in, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, we're going to lock in.
Cool.
Oh, I have absolutely no idea if the man ever even picked up a paintbrush, but you say code maker, Samuel Morse is the name that comes to mind.
Yeah.
And tossed around possibly James Braille, but I don't know if we're going to consider that a code. But yeah, I think we are locking in with Morse.
Literal code maker, Morse.
Okay. And Jonathan and Jeff.
Jeff and I reached the same point. Me asking you that question by you not answering gave me everything I needed to know to be confident in saying... Okay, this is a code maker that's not related to the painting at all. So who was a code maker? What kind of thing? Oh, well, there's only one code maker. It's Morse. Who cares if he painted anything? He's a code maker. We're answering Morse. So that was our answer.
Just to let you know, you can see this painting at the National Gallery. Julie said that she actually saw it there personally. And the answer is Samuel Morse. Well done, both teams.
Good job, Jonathan.
So basically, I gave Jonathan the answer by not answering the question. Crap. All right. So after 4 rounds, the score is 118 for Carmela and Paul to Jonathan and Jeff's 92. First question and round 5. The category is in Nature and Action, and this is by Rob Warman. So thank you, Rob.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank
Rob.
you, Mr. Deity Man.
All right. Stop it. Anyway, and your question is, what tree is a crucial part of the global silk production? Let me repeat that again. Excuse me. What tree is a crucial part of global silk production because its leaves are the preferred food of the silkworm?
Oh, I knew this at one point.
Okay, I think we are locked in.
So, Jeff, I was saying that in my mind, silkworms are connected to China, Japan, that area. I don't know why exactly, but those things are connected in my mind. And you are out in that direction. And when I suggested that, you said it wasn't something that was clearly apparent to you.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like I've seen silkworms in person before, but I can't rember where or why. So
Japan has lots of cherry blossoms. So a cherry tree doesn't feel right, though. Are there other trees in that region that are synonymous with that region?
Not really. I mean, bonsai trees, but bonsai is an art, not a specific type of tree.
You have milkweed for butterflies. You have eucalyptus for koalas. What do you have for silkworms?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I think I'm getting, in my mind, confused with like a caterpillar,
right,
and a silkworm,
right?
Because I'm picturing like crawling across a broad, flat leaf.
No, it still could be. Still could.
I don't know.
2 minutes.
Can you name trees that are highly populated or lots of trees like down here in the South? I'm sure it's like this everywhere, but we have pine trees for day. Pine trees and palm trees. That's what we got the most of, right? What are highly visible regular plants, trees in that region?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not like a nature, like on
ones with bark, Jonathan.
Yeah. There's like palm trees, but it's not that. There's like random berry bushes around, but those are bushes, not trees.
I mean, right now, do cherry blossoms come from a cherry tree?
I think so.
Or is that a different tree? God, I don't know. That's the only thing that I can think of right now. I'm not well versed here.
And we can just hope that Carmela and Paul.
I'm sure that's not right. They wouldn't have the cherry blossom festival if the worms were eating all the damn trees. But we don't have an answer, so I guess we're going cherry trees.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, and Carmela and Paul?
And to think I saw these all the time in the neighborhood where I grew up, where we had lots of mulberry trees.
That rings a bell.
All right, and your answer is the mulberry tree.
Wow. Has anybody eaten a mulberry? I've never even seen one.
No, I've smelled things that were mulberry scented, but I was like, it's some sort of fruit tree, and he's like, mulberries. I'm like, that's it.
I mean, I remember the mulberry bush song from when I was a kid. I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen. I mean, is it a fruit? Can you eat them? Are they bad? Is that why we don't get them, or are they all being used for silkworms?
I didn't care for them.
You don't care for them?
I don't know. I don't know if we have mulberry trees down here, honestly. It might be a northern kind of thing.
I used to eat crab apples off trees in Atlanta.
Ew.
Yeah.
Those are gross.
No, they were bitter, but they were good.
All right.
Okay. Well, anyway, mulberry. How about it? Go
mulberry
silkworms.
There you go.
How about it?
All right. Your second question, round 5, is in history. Hit the wee.
And do you think if a silkworm ate if a silkworm ate a synthetic mulberry tree, would it give you synthetic silk?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
We have differing answers.
I would trust Carmela more than my answer.
It's like, this is a rayon worm. This is the polyesterm.
Is that velvet? It's beautiful.
It's still producing silk, no matter what it's eating.
Your history question is, Operation Overlord was the code name for the entire operation for D-Day, but what cartoon character was the password for the Allies on June 6, 1944?
We're locked in?
Okay.
Jeff, at the last second here, I was gonna say, I was typing just now, something's pulling me to Donald Duck.
Okay.
I don't have a reason.
I mean, I saw, actually, you know what, so I told you, I mean, I'm a history teacher and I love World War II. I've watched tons of like Band of Brothers and other stuff. What you were specifically mentioning, you said you heard thunder. That was like, so in the Army, there's like this call and response passcode.
Yes.
And the 101st Airborne.
Lightning.
It was flash thunder.
Flash.
They would say flash and then you'd respond thunder to know you were on the same side and the same. But for some reason, when you said Donald Duck, that sparked something. So I am totally fine if you want to go with that.
Yeah, if it sparks for you, then it sparks for me just a tiny bit too. So I think we do it. We say Donald Duck.
All right, Donald Duck. Let's lock it in.
We did not say Donald Duck, but we did go with another sailor kind of cartoon. And we ended up going with Popeye. We felt it like might have been a little too on the nose because he is a sailor kind of character. But neither one of us had another in for it, so we went with Popeye.
Okay.
All right. Well, unfortunately, 10 points for Chris once again. I don't like
man.
this. I know, but
It's
one team
Mickey
had it a
Mouse.
lot closer than the other team did. The answer is
it Sweet Pea?
it is not Sweet Pea,
Mickey Mouse.
but the answer is Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Mickey
I thought
Mouse.
about that afterwards.
Jeff said Mickey Mouse first, and I didn't think that was right. But something pulled me to Donald. Damn it.
Yeah, and then you swayed me. But yeah, I don't know why I thought it was Mickey Mouse, but
All right. Well, that's all right. Let's shake it off.
We held serve. They also did not score.
There you go. And your final question in round 5 is in literature. And your question is, in the epic The Canterbury Tales, what former Archbishop of Canterbury's tomb were the pilgrims traveling to visit?
We are locked in.
Beautiful.
Oh, I can stop trying to get this autocorrect to stop changing crap. Okay, yeah, so I think it's going to be one of the Thomases, Jeff.
Yeah.
You liked that. You said Thomas à Becket, so I was going to say one of them. This is like 1200s for Canterbury Tales, so it's before Henry VIII. So whichever one was with Henry VIII, it's not that one. And the three Thomases that I'm thinking of are Thomas à Becket, Thomas More, and Thomas Aquinas. I think it's going to be. I don't think Aquinas was Archbishop of Canterbury. But I do think that possibly More and à Becket both were. And I don't remember which one.
I feel pretty strongly that it's Thomas à Becket. When you said Thomas, that like the first thing that came into my mind was Thomas à Becket. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but that was like an initial, like just boom, strong feeling. I think that's it.
You know what? That's good enough for me. Let's do that.
All right, let's lock that in. Thomas à Becket.
Thomas à Becket.
All right, and Carmela and Paul?
I was like, was Thomas More ever Archbishop of Canterbury? And then I was like, I don't even know if that's the right time frame, because I remember him being with Henry VIII.
Yeah, she said Thomas. I was like, oh, thank you so much. That brings it to Thomas Becket. I don't know if any of you have ever played Mafia/Werewolf. Well, I will make a very long story very short. We used to play this on a message board years ago, and games would last for weeks. And my single greatest achievement was playing a Canterbury Tales themed game where, and that is where 100%, well, 95% of my Canterbury Tales knowledge comes from, was from playing that game. And that brought me to Thomas Becket.
Wow.
All right. And your answer is Thomas Becket.
Wow. Okay, good.
All right. You guys were saying Thomas à Becket, though.
Yeah, it's a common way of saying it's like Thomas of Becket, I believe.
Okay. Okay. You weren't saying
I'm not sure exactly why it is that you say it that way, but that's a common pronunciation.
So you're saying of, not Becket.
No, I'm not saying of. But that is the way that people pronounce that name when they say it together.
Okay. Understood.
And if anybody... Carmela, do you disagree? Do you guys think that's...
No, I've heard it that way too. When I think when I was reading the Plantagenet book that Dan Jones did, he said of Becket, but I've also heard it Becket most of the time.
I've never actually heard it just Becket, to be honest with you.
Really? I've always heard it
Becket.
Thomas Becket. Where is Thomas Becket? And then they brutally murder him in the church.
Anyway,
that's what happened to him.
No, I'm not disagreeing. It's just the way you said it was funny.
Thomas Becket, also known as Thomas of London, and later Thomas à Becket.
Saint Thomas à Becket. Encyclopedia.com.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you too. All right, very good.
Was added well after his death in the 1500s. It roughly means of.
Okay, coolio.
Okay.
All right, that works for me. So thank you two. And after 5 very hard rounds, Carmel and Paul still in the lead with 138 to Jonathan and Jeff's 102. And this, my friends, is round 6. And if you know my trivia writing questions, I usually give round 6 to a listener and ask them to just run wild, ask whatever questions you want. This episode, round 6, is brought to you by Jane Carmichael. So Jane, thank you again for your time. It was great working.
Jane.
Yes, it was great working with her on this, and then that's where I also came up with the warming up Chris question was from her thinking of questions for this round. So really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jane.
So your first question in round 6, the Jane Carmichael round, is stolen ideas. Stolen ideas. And the question is, in 1888, Chicago native Sarah Good conceptualized and patented a re-envisioned bed to meet the demands of small spaces in urban settings. This item is now named after the man who, quote-unquote, improved the design, i.e. stole it. But despite what the name suggests, no laws were broken in doing so. What is the name of this item?
We're locked in.
Woo! That was fast!
Jeff, we can talk out loud then.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a trundle bed or something like that. Is there something called a stowaway bed? Is that a thing?
I mean, a trundle bed is one that you stow underneath.
But a trundle is not a crime. The clue at the end was that no crimes were committed, blah, blah, blah. So I think it's going to have to be something. But, okay, so a couple of different things here. Chris, could you read the question again? And, Jeff, here's what I want you to listen for.
Sure.
There's a clue about a crime. I think he said it's named after a person.
Right.
So the person's name would have some relationship to a crime, and it is also a bed for small spaces, which makes me think of the one that folds up into the wall, but I don't know the name of that one.
The question is, in 1888, Chicago native Sarah Good conceptualized and patented a re-envisioned bed to meet the demands of small spaces in urban settings. This item is now named after the man who, quote-unquote, improved the design, i.e. stole it. But despite what the name suggests, no laws were broken in doing so. What is the name of this item?
So his name...
Jonathan, you said pull out of the wall?
Yeah, like, have you ever seen...
that's called a Murphy bed. That has an actual
Murphy
name.
Bed. Yeah, and Murphy is a person's name.
So I'm wondering, so when the first time he read the question, when he said no crime was committed, I was thinking him, like, stealing... her design was not a crime.
This is a clue.
Okay.
So his name would have some kind of law or crime associated with it, right?
Oh, Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law.
That's not terrible. It's a connection. It's a connection. It's not a real. It's a law, not a crime. But it's also. It's a cool connection.
Yeah.
Is there anything else it could be? Any other types of beds that are made for small spaces? I know trundle bed is a thing. Stowaway is not a name for a person. Murphy is. That's the strongest piece of thing we have.
90 seconds.
The only Murphy bed I can remember ever seeing is the one in The Great Muppet Caper, where all the Muppets are sitting on the bed and then it gets flipped and slams them all into the wall and their legs are all hanging out of the seams of it. That's my memory of a Murphy bed, and that's the best answer I have, dude.
Yeah, I think that's the best we're going to come up with. So,
all right, I guess we're going with Murphy bed.
All right, Carmel and Paul.
Just y'all spent so much time overthinking that. Just so much time overthinking it. Murphy's Law doesn't necessarily mean it's a crime. It's just dude happens to have a law named after him. Yeah, it's definitely a Murphy bed.
Carmela's
little
so
known
right.
fact, originally named after the Dropkick Murphys. That's where they got the Murphy bed.
Dropkick Murphy's bed.
Carmela was 100% right on that. Your answer is the Murphy bed. Murphy.
I love our thought process, Jeff. I appreciate every bit of it.
I'm just like you have the answer. Say the answer.
I was just like,
stop it.
Get my popcorn out. Let's see if they talk themselves out of it.
Yeah, when you got to Murphy's Law, I was like, oh, there it is. Okay, they got it. They're done. They're going to lock that in. They're still talking.
All right, your second question, round 6 in the Jane Carmichael round, is in music. Music. And your question is, though regarded as a folk singer and a strong voice in the counterculture area, this artist has performed a variety of genres over the last 60 years, having released over 30 albums, which included music in 6 different languages. Though never having won a Grammy herself, she was the recipient of a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2007. Who is this artist? 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah, let's do that, Jeff.
Okay.
We're going to lock in.
Narrowly beat us out. Paul, this is mostly you, but I definitely agree. Joan Baez fits the category the best.
Yeah, we spoke about Joni Mitchell, but I'm almost certain she has a couple of other Grammys. Mm-hmm. It seems amazing to think that Joan Baez never won a Grammy, but I can't come up with anybody that fits the career span and the multiple languages parts. So we are going Joan Baez.
All right. Jeff and Jonathan.
Jeff, somehow I overlooked the part about not winning a Grammy.
Yeah, me too.
Well, that's a big part of that.
Because we both, we started our conversation with Joni Mitchell, and then I brought up Joan Baez. And I remember from like some college sociology classes listening to some Joan Baez songs because she sang a lot about social justice. And it never occurred to me. No, Baez did too.
Oh, when you said that in the chat, I thought you said Mitchell. I guess I misunderstood.
Oh no, I was still referring to Baez.
I see. My bad.
Joni, it makes sense.
Chachi.
Not Chachi.
So anyway, at the end of it, we disregarded, I guess, the part about the Grammys, and we went with Joni Mitchell.
And the funny part is, Jonathan, is you're correct. We were talking about the though never have won a Grammy herself, which was what you repeated to me. The answer is Joan Baez. Excuse me.
Joni Mitchell. He said it. He said it. He can't take it back.
We win. We get the points.
Dang it! You guys had it in my head.
No take backs.
The answer is Joan Baez.
This is touch move.
Baez.
Oh darn it, Jeff! We suck today, dude. I'm sorry. To be fair, I hadn't had my coffee a long time ago, but now it's just me sucking.
It's all right.
Don't have a sucky.
The gap is widening.
And your final question before the gauntlet, your Jane Carmichael category is TV, televisiones. And your question is, prior to her hosting roles, this actress appeared in TV and movies, including Star Trek Enterprise and the 2001 quote-unquote blockbuster Glitter. Although her latest gig is for Taste the Nation, she won a Primetime Emmy for a different show. Who am I talking about?
We're locked in.
Okay, cool.
Are there any? So Jeff, we're going to go with what you're saying, I think, in the end of this, but just to challenge it and make sure that we're not overlooking something. Are there any other female hosts of food-related shows that would fit the information?
No, I mean the only female food show hosts that I am very familiar with are Padma Lakshmi and Gail Simmons from Top Chef. My wife loves watching Top Chef shows.
I watched a lot of Top Chef 10 years ago.
Yeah, and when Taste the Nation came, it's pretty new, and I'm 99% sure Padma's the host of that too. I don't know, I don't. When he said actor.
How could she?
I think it's one of those things when you I think it's one of those things when you first start out in Hollywood and you're trying to get, you're just like an extra or like in a one-off. I don't think she was if she was on there, she would have been a featured role. I just feel very certain that she's the host of Taste the Nation.
I mean, that's good enough. That's got to be what we go with, because I can't. No matter how many things we think of. Unless we said something, we're like, oh, no, that's the host of Taste the Nation. I got them mixed up. That's the only way we can change from you saying strongly that you think she's the host of Taste the Nation.
Yeah, but I did not know that she was an actor.
It's not anybody else on Food Network, is it? It's not. None of them would have been actors or actresses or any of that.
I mean, you'll get the occasional, pop singer as a host of some show, but not usually.
Flavo Flav's Kitchen, that kind of thing. I know. Oh God! All right. Well, let's go with it. Then we'll say Padma Lakshmi.
All right, and Carmel and Paul.
Well, if you got it wrong, then we got it wrong, because we had the exact same in. Enterprise didn't help us at all. We knew Glitter was Mariah Carey's movie, but had no idea about any other characters in it. But we both knew Padme. Well, I could come up with a first name, and I'm messaging Carmela, and I'm like, it's the woman. It's Padme. It's the one that's like Queen Amidala. And
I was like, food shows, Padma Lakshmi, and she probably won for Top Chef. So yeah, we went with Padma Lakshmi.
Well, the TV show was Top Chef, and we are talking about the absolutely flawless Padma Lakshmi. Well done, both teams.
All right, man. Oh boy, that.
Yeah, she must have been like an extra or something in those.
Yeah.
Well, now we got to look, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's get a visual here. Padma Lakshmi Enterprise
SMI. Yeah. She is just stunningly beautiful.
Oh, Chris has a crush.
A little bit.
Yeah.
She was in an episode called Memory Alpha, apparently.
I think Memory Alpha is the Star Trek wiki. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's in this show. There's at least one episode that she's in. She was still young here, obviously. Yeah, there's a part she's on a planet on the ground with the chief engineer in this image.
Is she wearing a red shirt? Oh wait, that's Enterprise. No.
I think she's one of the people from the planet. I'd have to guess.
Because remember,
the episode is Precious Cargo,
and she plays the character of Silk in Glitter. SYLK.
Well, there we go. We've learned something today.
There you go. Well, going into the gauntlet, Carmela and Paul have really done fantastic in this episode with 168. Jonathan and Jeff have not done poorly either, even though they're going to say they have, with 122.
168 to 122. Did I get that right?
That is correct, sir.
Yeah.
By the way, in my Googling for this Star Trek episode, I learned that for 3 years, Padma Lakshmi was married to Salman Rushdie.
That's correct.
Didn't know that.
That is correct. And she is she is written in her book that how tumultuous that marriage was, unfortunately for her. So, all right. Well, your gauntlet category, because this will be recorded. This is being recorded and will be on in a couple weeks. Is Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Good luck.
Oh, Jeff, wagering's hard because they have a strong lead here. This is it's easier to wager when it's smaller.
Our wager's locked in.
Fabtissimo.
All right, our wager's locked in.
Fantastic. In your Happy Thanksgiving category, your first question is, in a second season Thanksgiving episode of The West Wing, President Bartlett, played by Martin Sheen, gave his body man, Charlie, played by Dule Hill, a knife that was originally made by what American patriot?
You know, one day I will actually watch The West Wing, but it is not this day.
It's a very good show.
Yeah, it's Chris's favorite. It's one of Waco's favorites. I've never seen it.
I'm happy to loan you the box set.
We watched the first 2 seasons, so I have seen this.
Our answer is locked in.
Okay,
we're going to lock that in then. That's great.
All right. And your second question in the Happy Thanksgiving round, our gauntlet, is having a net worth of $57 billion and is recognized as the third wealthiest woman in the world. What person, after signing the Giving Pledge in 2019, gave away $5.8 billion in charitable gifts with a focus on racial equality, LGBTQ plus equality, and climate change? Excuse me, I'm sorry. And it should say $5.8 billion in 2020 in charitable gifts with a focus on racial equality, LGBTQ plus equality, and climate change. My apologies.
Yeah, I think we're locked in. Our answer's locked in.
Okay, we're going to lock in.
And your final question in the Happy Thanksgiving category is Thanksgiving is celebrated in more countries other than the United States and Canada. Celebrated in the territory of Norfolk Island, what country celebrates Thanksgiving on the last Wednesday of November, similar to the United States observance? Norfolk Island celebrates Thanksgiving due to the holiday was brought to the island by American whaling ships.
You're looking for a country, correct?
Correct.
We are locked.
Damn it. I feel like y'all have been, not only have you been kicking our ass, but you've been locking in way faster than us too. All right, we're going to go ahead and lock in.
So the first question in the Happy Thanksgiving Gauntlet was, in a second season Thanksgiving episode of The West Wing, President Bartlett, played by Martin Sheen, gave his body man, Charlie, played by Dule Hill, a knife that was originally made by what American patriot? Carmela and Paul, you'll go first.
I was like, who made knives? But I think we both came around to someone who smiths, even though he was a silversmith, and we said Revere.
No, I was really hoping you'd go with a different answer there.
All right. Jeff and Jonathan?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've seen West Wing a few times, and I know that Jed Bartlett, the president in the West Wing, is from, I think, Massachusetts or New Hampshire, somewhere up in New England, so I figured it would be a New England revolutionary founding father type person, and I knew that Paul Revere was a Smith, so we went with Paul Revere.
While we're on the subject of Jed Bartlett, I want somebody to do a parody of the Beverly Hillbillies theme song talking about Jed Bartlett. Let me tell you a story about a man named Jed. Poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed.
May I continue on, sir?
Then one day he was shooting at the food.
That's a no.
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 Up came some oil, a bubbling crude. No, I didn't do that right. Oil, that is. Black gold. Texas tea. Go ahead.
Just going to keep going.
Your second question, Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, the next thing you know, old
totally walked into that one. All right. Your second question was, having a net worth of $57 billion and is recognized as the third wealthiest woman in the world, what person, after signing the Giving Pledge in 2019, gave away $5.8 billion in charitable gifts in 2020 with a focus on racial equality, LGBTQ plus equality, and climate change. And Jeff and Jonathan, y'all go first.
We had a lot of back and forth. Jeff and I had a lot of back and forth on every answer in today's game. Oprah came up. We didn't think it was Oprah. It came down to conversations about Melinda Gates and Bezos, whose first name I can't remember. But I argued that Melinda would have done her charitable giving through the Gates Foundation, and that this might be the chance with the recent divorce. This might have been a chance for Bezos to make a statement for herself as to what she believed in. And so we ended up going with Bezos.
Okay. And Carmela and Paul.
Trying real hard to write very fast to come up with, well, the next thing you know, Mackenzie Scott Bezos is a billionaire. Kim Folk said something, gave it all to charity. Yeah, we had a lot of back and forth on this too. We're pretty sure it's Jeff Bezos's ex. We're pretty sure her name is Mackenzie, and I think her name is now Mackenzie Scott.
So we said Scott.
Okay. And the final question is, Thanksgiving is celebrated in more countries other than the United States and Canada. Celebrated in the territory of Norfolk Island, what country celebrates Thanksgiving on the last Wednesday of November, similar to the United States observance? Norfolk Island celebrates Thanksgiving due to the holiday was brought to the island by American whaling ships. And Carmel and Paul.
So I'm originally from Norfolk, Virginia, and I know Norfolk is English in origin. The original Norfolk is in England. And I saw this one day, and it caught my eye because I am originally from Norfolk. Norfolk Island is Australian, so we said Australia.
All right. And Jeff and Jonathan.
Oh, for God's sakes. Well, we didn't say Australia.
Okay.
Whaling is a New England focused kind of industry, and so we stayed in the North Atlantic, and we know that Denmark has territories here on the North American coast, so we went with Denmark.
Okay. And here are your answers. So the Thanksgiving episode, the American patriot that was talked about was, yes, in fact, Paul Revere. Paul Revere. And President Bartlett, before he became President Bartlett, was Governor Jed Bartlett of the great state of New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
All right.
Oh, he was part of the mafia corruption problems then.
All right. The third wealthiest woman in the world is, in fact, Mackenzie Scott, but I will also give you Mackenzie Bezos. Well done.
Okay.
And the final answer, Norfolk Island, as Carmela beautifully told, is, in fact, in Australia. Australia.
You know, Jeff, Australia came to mind, but it was just so far away and so on the wrong side of the world that I didn't say it out loud.
I think if you associated it with England, you may have gotten there a little bit better.
So where does Australia have a territory? Where is Norfolk Island?
I don't know exactly where it is. I'm like, yeah, it's surrounded by water.
But is it
water.
Atlantic or Pacific? Because I want to know. I want to know how far off our logic was.
I believe it's Pacific. It might be closer because there's a huge whaling industry in Japan too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but American whalers wouldn't be coming from Japan.
It is in the Pacific. It is on the east. It's off of the east coast of Australia.
So American whalers got all the way to Australia?
That is correct. Yes.
Whoa. Okay. That's why our logic was flawed, Jeff. We were never going to say that.
So. Yeah, unfortunately, neither of us is from Norfolk, Virginia, and just happened to look it up one.
Yeah, no, it's Oceania for sure. We were lost on that one because we definitely weren't thinking that American whalers or U.S. whalers would end up that far out. So we were never getting that one unless we just knew it.
Well, after a very, very tough episode.
And tough for them. They killed it.
That's true. They really did.
We need to know what people wagered so we know how badly Carmela and Paul beat us. I can tell you that Jeff and I, we figured you were going to cover. And so we pretty much had to wager for what you would lose if you missed it. And we were just hoping you had missed something. And God help me, I thought you would have missed one of those. So we wagered 29.
29.
So we could end up with somewhere in the neighborhood of 93 if you missed it. What did you wager?
We went for a lockout.
Yes.
We wagered 77.
Of course. And so you guys finish with 245 points with a final score of 245 to 93. Your champions today are Paul McLaughlin and Carmela Smith.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul just high-fived his camera. Holy moly. All right, that was a great game. That was actually a really, really good game, I think. I think, Jeff, it just didn't hit us, or we were just stupid today, one of the two, but I don't think that's the game's fault. I think Chris did a great job hosting.
Oh,
today.
yeah,
I
it was
appreciate
great.
it.
Absolutely.
And it was wonderful having you here physically. My God, it's so much more fun when you can hang out with people and you have that different energy in person. It's so great.
It's good to be back.
So before we go, we like to give people a chance to do shout outs and promote causes that they care about. We'll start with our winner, Paul McLaughlin. And I've pronounced your name differently 4 different times. I'm sorry for whichever one is wrong. I apologize for.
You do it all the time. It's fine. I'm very much used to it. Promote a cause. Well, I'm going to be completely selfish this time, and I am going to promote Taffoshirts.com. It is a little side business my wife and I have put together recently. We've been at it a couple of weeks now. We design T-shirts. We print them out. Possibly vulgar, unquestionably distasteful, but
with a name like Faffo.
Endlessly stylish.
I have no idea what Faffo is.
I don't know either.
Well,
Find out.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing recently. We've actually sold a fair amount of one particular design that is become very popular in the local trivia community. So,
the Georgia O'Keeffe T-shirts, obviously winners. Oh wait, that's not a flower. Never mind.
And where do you find your shirts at, Paul?
Faffo.com.
Taffoshirts.com.
Oh, Taffoshirts.com. My bad. Don't go to Faffo.com. You might find out.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to find out.
I don't know what it is, but it ain't going to be good. All right.
Plug it into Facebook. We're on there too.
Very cool. Thank you, Paul. And then Jeff, we'll wrap it up with you.
Well, my cause shout out is the helpers sometimes need helping too. I'm a teacher, and I know the last few years have really burned out a lot of teachers and caused a lot of mental health issues. So if you know a teacher, you know somebody who is in a career field where they're constantly helping and absorbing other people's stress and trauma throughout the day and helping them, just reach out to them, make sure they're doing okay, and make sure that they have somebody to rely on as well.
Outstanding. For sure. And funnily enough, you will hear an advertisement in the middle of today's show for BetterHelp.com. BetterHelp.com/TWA. You can get help if you need it there. It's very good. All right. That's going to wrap us up, guys. So for Jeff, for Paul, for Chris, and Carmela, my name's Jonathan. This has been episode number 348 of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you much, all.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit ProPodcastingServices.com.
Wow, Paul, there's a lot of a certain F word on a lot of your shirts.